I have been banned from Pegasus RC. You may be thinking that I'm trying to be hyperbolic, or that this is clickbait, and you're a tiny bit right. But the effect is still the same. It's like when you own a condo, and you're a member of an association, and the association decides that they want to ban all yellow patio furniture because it's unsightly. But you're the only one in the complex that owns any yellow patio furniture. I think you'd be right to feel that you've been singled out, and that's what's happened here. The club decided that they were going to implement a new rule. If you fly FPV, and you cannot maintain visual line of sight with your aircraft, then you must use a buddy box to fly. I understand where they are trying to go with this rule. It's an attempt to try and implement a level of safety in the event of video feed loss because they don't trust video feeds. They think that it'll keep the aircraft from falling out of the sky, I guess. I've been flying with Pegasus for 2.5 years now, and loss of video has only caused one crash, a forced landing in the lake when I flew behind trees on my 3rd flight at the club. When I first showed up, they told me, yeah, you can fly FPV, but you're going to need a spotter near you to make sure you maintain line of sight with the aircraft and don't dip below the tree line, which made sense. And I have adhered to this the whole time, even as my piloting skills improved, and even though it meant that I could never fly a Pegasus by myself. Other members of the club could show up, open the gate, and have the field all to themselves, but not me. I made sure to never put the club in jeopardy by flying there alone. Over time, this restriction has changed, and they said it must be a club member, as well as other restrictions started to be put in place. No flying over the road to the left of the field, no flying across the lake, which then became, we can only use the lake for turning around. No flying any RC aircraft under any form of autopilot. This included things like using drone deploy to do a 3D map of the field, or even to use my return to home function in the airplanes. All of these rule changes I have respected and adhered to, but it has finally gone too far. I cannot meet the buddy box restriction because the buddy box port in my radio is already used by my head tracking system. I have a device that I have assembled that tracks the head movement, turns it into PPM that the radio understands, and the trainer controls of my radio are used to slave the camera gimbals to that head tracker. It serves to increase the immersion of my experience, as well as make me a safer pilot, because I can look around the aircraft like a real pilot would, rather than having a view that is locked forward. This new rule would mean that in order to fly, I would have to sacrifice the head movement for a view that is locked forward. Could I do it? I suppose, but what would be the point? I would lose the very thing that I am trying to go after when flying RC. Remember, I have poor vision. If I could, I would fly full-sized aircraft. I would get an ultralight, or a paramotor, or a real pilot's license, but real flight is prohibited to me. When I showed up at Pegasus, they told me the sky was the limit and the park was my boundary. Then I actually started to use that airspace that no one had ever dared use, but because I was flying FPV, it was open to me. I can only guess that it scared them, and all they saw was risk and exposure. So, until the rules change and things relax a little bit, I am afraid there is no point in me flying at Pegasus. I will miss the guys and the fellowship, but the flying experience for me just won't be the same, and that's why I was there. So for now, though I didn't know it when I was filming it, this will be the last landing that I will ever do at Pegasus.